Hey everybody, it's Stephanie. Today we are going to correct and conceal using one palette. If you've watched my other videos, you know, and this is my go-to. This is a Stila Correct and Conceal palette. This Stila palette has 5 correcting concealers and then 2 powders. We have a peach and an orange color correcting concealer. Those are good for coloring dark circles. We're going to use those today. Green color correcting concealer is good for canceling redness. This yellow concealer here is good for covering hyperpigmentation and dark spots. The lavender powder here is good for brightening an area, and then the yellow powder here it neutralizes and color corrects darker areas and brown spots. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with color correcting, there's peach and there's orange. Both are designed to cover blue. The idea behind the orange is for darker skin tones, but I use it because I tend to have such extreme dark circles that sometimes the peach isn't gonna cut it. So today I'm gonna use both the peach and the orange. You can decide for yourself which one you think looks the best. But today I'm gonna use my ring finger, and I'm gonna go in and grab a little bit of the orange. And this side is darker than that side, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the side that's a little more obnoxious here. Just gently tapping with my ring finger. These are things I've learned, but also things that I've tried that actually work for me. So the less you handle or touch your under eyes, the better it's going to look. Sometimes I will just go crazy and put a lot under there because I can always cover it up. Maybe it's too much, I don't know, but I don't mess around with these darks. Go in with the peach and just tap it under there. Today the peach probably will work just fine. I just wanted to give you an idea how they perform on dark circles. So today it's covering really nicely. This is a Farmasi Pro concealer brush. It's long and it's dense enough, but has give, so it's very gentle. So I'm just tapping, just tap, tap, tap. The under eye area is so delicate that it's sort of a balancing act, how much pressure to use, but you'll know how your eyes respond to the pressure you're using. I'm gonna use this end of this double end brush here, and I'm gonna just go in and shear that out a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color correct the redness around my nose in this area here. You wanna take the green pan here, and I just take a little bit with my finger. Sometimes I use a lot, depends on me, what kind of a makeup mood I'm in, and you can build it too. I wear glasses, so often I will have red dots here that seem to be, they're relentless. Those little red dots, they act almost like tattoos. So sometimes I'll have to go in a little extra with the green to cover those up. They're not giving me too much of a hard time today. The thing about this palette, it's high-end. Get, another palette that's less expensive. Drugstore brands, I've personally never used a palette with drugstore. It just so happens that I've had this one for a long time and haven't had to go buy another one. But the nice thing about this was actually $45, which is a lot. But this is worth it to me because if I were to buy different color correctors for each part of my face, by the time I bought what I think I needed for different problems on my face, I'd probably end up spending $45 just depending. And this is a really good product. I will be getting a drugstore brand so I can test it and just see how it plays, next to one of the high end. So I now have, my nose is color corrected here. These are the main areas that I color correct, my eyes and my nose. There are probably other areas that I could color correct, but I don't do that because I'm using this Covergirl plus Olay Simply Ageless. For me, this is probably one of the best drugstore foundations I've found that covers really well. It doesn't oxidize, it doesn't sit on my lines and wrinkles, and it's sufficient to where I don't have to go in and add extra coverage anywhere else on my face. So I will take this first And then I will take the concealing brush I just used for my orange concealer, and I'll just tap it in there a little bit. And then I will go in and I'll just start gently covering the areas I just corrected. Now obviously I used orange on this side and peach on this side. So this side's gonna be a different hue. So I'm gonna add extra foundation on this side so that they're even toned. You can completely conceal it. And then I'm gonna take a beauty sponge. This is Farmasi's beauty sponge, and I am going to go in and shear it out before I add the rest of the makeup to my face. Being very careful not to disturb it too much. So after I've done that, I will just let that rest for a little bit before I mess with it again. So while that's resting, again, the reason I'm letting it rest is so I don't touch the area too much. So while that's resting, I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge here and just apply my foundation to the rest of my face. To do a slight contour on my nose. This is a lip pencil by Essence. This is in the color Legendary, and this is their soft and precise lip pencil. It works great for contour. With my little e.l.f. concealer pen, and add a little down my nose, bring some light to the center, and then down the sides of my nose, on the tip, on the side. The contour stick, this is the NYX Wonderstick contour and highlight stick in the shade Universal Light. I'm going to add a little more to the bottom of my nose. Get rid of that dip look that it has there. And then I'm going to use some here to contour my cheek. I start right here and I come into my face because I don't want any attention drawn to that sunkenness in my cheek. Contour here. And then a little here. My lower lip look a little more full. And then maybe okay. I'm going to take this Farmasi foundation brush, which I also use to help with my contour, and I'm just going to go in and just sort of start blending the contour on my nose gently. Try to keep them, I want them to blend together, but I don't want them to blend out each other, so sort of a balancing act there. Start with the highlight and then I'll go in for the side contour. Blend it out. It Cosmetics Dual End Brush. I use this for blending, I use it for blush, I use it for foundation. It just depends on how much pressure I need. This works great to blend in my contour products without I'm trying not to disturb the base makeup. So this works well for that. I use swirly motions here. We've got contour and then we've got bronzer, and I often use both. But if I'm just going for a light makeup day, I don't do both, which is gonna be today, so. For my chin, I'm gonna go ahead and use a sponge.
My jaw. Blending that down.
So I now have my face contoured and I've got areas concealed, so my face is now ready to apply, color. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna powder the areas of my face and set those areas, and I'm gonna use this beautiful lavender powder here for the brightening effect. It works for me to use a beauty sponge. So I just grab as much as I can on the sponge there, and then I go in and tap around my nose, and it will set that area really nicely without it being too cakey. And if it looks a little Casper right now, I'm gonna fix that. But that's how I set that. I don't do a lot of powder on my outer cheeks because if I don't have to powder it, I'm not gonna powder it. Got these wonderful little fingers, mini beauty sponges at the Dollar Tree. Oh my gosh, they are wonderful. So I just pop one on my finger, and then I'm gonna go in and just dab some powder, just not a lot, just grab some powder there, and I'm just gonna press in the setting powder, just press it or roll it. This has been a wonderful beauty tool, this little sponge, because it presses it in so there's not a lot sitting on top of your skin for showing a bunch of texture. So if you can tell, that particular powder, that lavender powder, is brightening. That's a good one to have. These you can get pink and lavender powder. Different drugstore brands carry them as well. You don't have to get it through a high end like this one. So I'm gonna take that same sponge and dab a little bit more and go up here on my forehead, and I'm just gonna powder the areas where I will have texture showing, or maybe a little bit too much shine, which accentuates the pores. So again, same thing up here. I press it in. Skin is skin, especially mature skin. You're not going to get rid of all the wrinkles. You're not going to get rid of all the pores. You're not going to take those away with anything as far as over the counter. But there are products that can help minimize the look of them, and that's what I feel these do. And I'm so grateful. Okay, take a clean powder brush here, and I'm just going to swoop away the excess. I'm avoiding my eye area. I don't want to touch that anymore. My natural oils in my skin, I've noticed if I leave my eyes alone, if there's any texture or it looks even remotely cakey, I leave it alone, because I found that as my natural oils settle in, it'll hydrate the area, and I just don't need to worry about touching it up with anything else. I just got to give it some time to settle. So that's how I do it. All I'm going to do for my eyes is I'm going to take this bronzer, or this contour color here, and I'm going to pack some color on this It Cosmetics travel size eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to use it for my eyeshadow. I love using this. You can use this for an eye primer. If you just want to if you put this down on your eyes as a primer, you can do it for a primer as well. But I just go and I just cover my eye with that, my eyelid. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other end, which is a highlighter. I love this. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's just pretty. And I'm going to just add a little of that to my lid. I'm going to take this eyeshadow brush, it's more compact, and just put a little bit on the brush under my bit of shimmer. I'm gonna add a little bit of cream blush. This is a NYX Wonderstick. It's a dual end blush and it's got two colors. This is Deep Peach and I'm gonna put that on the back of my hand and I'm gonna pick it up with a brush. The other side is Coral. Angled blush brush by Bestope. I'm just gonna tap it and then I'm gonna go in and just tap color on both sides. And then I'm just gonna swirl it. Gently swirl it. Again, the idea is to not disturb my base makeup. Sometimes I like to add, I'll just take that color, I'm not gonna bronze today, so I just like to take that color and just sort of swirl it around the rest of my face a little bit. Add a little bit more. Not only does it add more color, but it prevents the harsh lines. Tap, tap, tap. That is good enough. I'm gonna put on some lip gloss. My NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeleine. Yummy. And I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. But this brush is curved, hence the idea is that it should help curl your lashes a little bit. So I start from the bottom, work my way up. $6 for this mascara, it's lovely. Go ahead and just try to use a little of this on my lower lashes, which is always tricky because it always makes a mess, but that's what we're gonna do today. All right, so there is my very simple makeup look today with the goal of covering up those problem areas with a little bit of lip gloss, a little eyeshadow, a little blush, and I'm good to go. Thanks for watching.